Hello Bitcoiners. I thought it was time I share some information on my prototype from Freedom Utility. What I have here showing, which I'll get a little bit closer, is the Brains OS information on two S9s. One that is inside the furnace and one that is completely stock, as you can hear in the background. Before I go too much into details, I gotta say they are set up the exact same way, meaning the temperature targets, the power targets, they're all the same. The machine in the furnace managed to stabilize in half the time in terms of the tuner status, and the stock one is still the stock one is still tuning after 2 days of running. But anyways, let's get into some details here. The stock one running on its own fans, as you can see, it's been warm here, so it's tuned down to 0.9 watts, but it's at around 88 it fluctuates between 88 to 90 watts per terahash, and it's been able to achieve steady 10 terahash per second, running at around 84 degrees. The one that's in the furnace, and the fan speed is set to low on my furnace. And as you can see, it's showing maximum RPM, but that's because on this one it's set to immersion mode. I'm not using the stock fans. I'm using the fans from the furnace. It's a five-speed fan, and right now I'm running on speed 1, which is the lowest. Now this one, as you can see, has been able to tune itself to 1.38 watts instead of the 0.9 on the other one. And again, it's running at 88 to 90 watts per terahash. Difference is, it's been able to get to a hash rate steady of 15.5 to 15.7 terahash per second, and it's running a little bit warmer, 89 to 90 degrees Celsius versus the 84 to 86 that I see here on this one right now that fluctuates, right? Now, if you want to run it cooler, it's always very easy to turn up the fan speed on the furnace, but I figured I'm going to set it at the lowest setting so we can get close to apples comparison. So now is the time to go see what the actual units look like, and it's going to get a lot louder. Alright, so walking over to the little test room. Here you see the stock S9 running. As you can see, it's not very quiet. And I'm going to give you a couple readings for those of you who are not familiar with these types of units and how much heat they actually can produce. I got a meter here. And if I set it up in front, adjust the angle here so you can see. You can see it pushes about 18 to 20 kilometers per hour wind speed. And it's achieving a temperature of the air coming out at around 34 to 35 degrees C. For American friends here, let me switch over. That's closer to about 94 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if I switch over to the Freedom Utility furnace, I'll give you a quick walk around. I'm just going to measure at the bypass because it's a lot easier. You can see right away on its lowest speed the furnace is pushing out at the bypass at around 21 kilometers per hour, and equivalent temperatures 33 to 34 degrees C. So you can see this unit S9 performs the same in both units, fairly equivalent. Output power out of this one in terms of terahash has been higher. And you'll see now, I'm going to get rid of some of this noise, that once I disconnect the standard S9, that's a lot better, as you can see. And now what you hear is your typical furnace fan. So it's not super quiet, but you know, that it is a fan that's running. And it's a lot quieter than listening to that S9. What you have here now is your standard connection into where your central air will go. right? And I have a bypass in here for hot and cold, right? So right now I have the bypass closed, so the hot air comes out of this bypass, and then your cool air still comes out through the top, where if you have an AC, typically it'd be situated in this area. The fan would blow through your air conditioner condenser and cool your home. And in the winter, your bypass over here would open up, and you would get full force of the fan coming through, and instead of the hot air coming out of the bypass, it will come out through the center. So my next step is to now stick in 2 S9s in here to show you a higher output in terms of temperature, and show you capability that now you can have more than one S9, or more than actually one S19. It's actually kind of sized for 2 S19s, but I bought S9s for testing. That's it for now. Would love to hear your guys' feedback, what you think, any ideas. Talk to you guys soon.